Greetings and welcome to another episode of Theories and Thoughts podcast. I'm your hostess, Fancy, and today I have a special guest hostess with me. We have look, I forgot how we would bring you in, but you are.
Hey y'all, hey, I am your girl, your homie, your sister from around the way, Lady Tiffany Nicole, y'all, and I am excited to be guest co-hosting with Fancy tonight for Thoughts and Theories podcast. Shout out to my girl Anaya. Am I saying her name right? Because I know she said people say her
Anya.
name wrong.
Arnya.
Did I say it right?
No, Arnya.
Anya, girl, why you name ain't Anaya? Okay, Anya. Hey girl, miss you, girl, but thanks for allowing me to sit in with you tonight. I'm ready.
Okay. So y'all, we're gonna do our intro, but before we do that, tonight's show is the wind down. So normally we just recap the news of the month as well as the guests that we've had. So we'll get to that after we do our what happened this weekend segment, as well as this caught my attention. So stay tuned.
Yes.
All right, and we're back. So welcome y'all. In the comments, you can let us know where you're watching from. And I see that Anthony Scott is watching from Stockton, California. Malbec. I don't know how to say that, but okay. um, Anitra says sweet red chili. Okay, Anitra. I don't know. All right, y'all. So this has been well, it's been a busy month for me, but I have more so just been in the books because I'm preparing for graduation. Um okay. Okay. So I'm prepared for graduation. But anyway, so my weekends have not really been all that interesting, but normally we do the segment whereas we do discuss our weekends. So just to tell y'all, I really stayed in the house and studied and worked on my paper. It's an 11-page paper. On Sunday, after working on it for 3 days, I decided to change my argument. So I went back and ended up having to write way more pages. So that's how life is going for me right now. As y'all can see, I don't even look like I really did a lot trying to be on the show tonight, but we are here. So Lady Tiffany Nicole, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Oh man, this weekend was actually great. Thanksgiving was last week, so I had an opportunity to spend it here in Atlanta. Though I missed my family, I had an opportunity to spend some time with a friend and their family, and I learned a new game. I learned Bid Whiz because I'm really a spades player. You know, I slice them and dice them. I don't know heart. Listen, I don't even like my hearts. I let you cut them because I'm cutting hearts. But I learned Bid Whiz and I had a good time with that family, learning different family traditions and doing something different. And I had an amazing time. Weekend wise, I was supposed to go and kick it with my actual family for the Bayou Classic, but I got sick. And so I ended up staying with that friend and hanging out with them, bonding, and basically had like a little retreat, caught up on my Netflix shows and stuff. So I had a good time, worked on Power Influence Radio. Y'all download the app, www.powerinfluenceradio.com. hostess.com. That's what we do on the side. No, but no, I had opportunity to work on my vision, so I did some work, got some rest, got my blood pressure down, and back to the grind this week. You know, the Thanksgiving break be like,
Girl, who you telling? Because I was literally in here like I saw my mama cooking. I feel kind of bad. I was like, I could at least go cut something up or something, but I was working on the paper. So, and hey, Anya, I see she's watching in the audience. She said she's
hey, Audia.
waiting on rehearsal to start. And I think
Oh,
you talking about me. I think Anitra about the child Southern. I don't know because I am Southern. But look, Lady Tiffany
oh.
Nicole from the South too, though.
Listen, and is. Listen, and is. Hey, Louisiana, the boot in the building.
Hey, Claire. So,
Yes.
really, look, our weekends ended pretty swiftly then. So, moving right along into our this caught our attention segment. Today was the start of the Tory Lanez trial. And while I haven't seen anything actually released as far as like statements that were made in the courtroom, a lot of people have been just kind of going back and forth online, especially on Twitter, just kind of like, saying little things. And everybody has their own, I don't know what you want to call it. Everybody kind of thinks they know what happened, seems like it. So,
Ain't this the guy that shot at Megan Thee Stallion knee, toe, or something like that?
right. Yeah.
And she's living, she's walking, but he still got. Did she file? You know me. For those of us that ain't in the tea like that, she living, she walking around, she doing 7 and 8 live things going on. What's the purpose of what's going on? They ain't
Well,
like secret makeup or something.
I don't think she actually filed the charges. I think the state filed the charges. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken, I saw that. But I did notice when I was looking at it, that they did say the way they worded it in that article was like he shot at her feet or at her foot, as opposed to he shot her in the foot. I just thought that was a little weird. But I still believe he really shot her. Just being honest. Or maybe now, since looking at how the wording is, maybe he shot in her direction, but there was definitely a shooting and the direction seemed to have been towards her. Just that's the way it seems to read to me. And then the reason why I say that is because the fact that they were like with the x-rays they saw the bullet fragments or something. And I just feel like no matter what anybody says online, like how do you explain that away? So
so I
that's
guess my question is, it happened a while ago. What, about a year or two ago?
yeah, it's been about that long.
So what, he gonna get probation times? Like, what's the purpose of all of this?
I would you not
Like,
be
why
mad if
put it?
somebody
You
shot you?
know, if
I
she'd
don't
have
know.
moved on, doing more records, getting her groove on with somebody else or whatever, I understand justice and stuff like that. But if she ain't dead, I mean, did you die though? I don't understand the purpose of the trial and wasting the state's money for why? Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? He gonna get probation or rec? I mean,
Well, at least maybe that'll give her some type of closure, though. Because if nothing happened, I think I would be pretty. Well, basically, I'd be pretty damn mad. Like I don't know. I don't think I haven't ever been shot, but I don't think that's something that you can move on past so easily. And then I would just always be thinking about what if they shot me here? What if they shot me there? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That just kind of I think I would need something even but at one point in one of the articles I was reading, it said that she said he did offer her money. So I don't think it's a monetary thing, but I think it might be a monetary outcome. That's what I was thinking.
so nothing against Megan Thee Stallion, cause I'm pop it too. I like all that. But this is how I see it. Call me goofy, retorted, thrown off, or whatever. But I see it like Harlem Nights when he shot her in the pinky toe, and she was like, "Oh." And then years later, they got past it, and life went on. He didn't go to jail, but it was like him apologizing. I consider it like a Harlem Nights type situation where I'm not sure what happened. He did shoot at her. That's not a denial. She did get a foot shot, but she's living, moved on. They probably even talked about it. Why is there a whole money spent on jewelry? I just feel like it's extra. If they talked about it, she's moved on. She didn't file the charges, so what's the purpose of all of this right now? I feel like it's a waste of money, a waste of time, and there's got to be more than just a shot at the foot. Some fragments. She walking, she ain't limping, it ain't nothing. So that's the way I look at it. I look at it as like a Hall of Nice type situation. Call it
Well,
what you
I
want.
know, like within the state of Mississippi, it used to be if it was like a crime against a woman, whereas it seemed like it was an intimate matter, the state was automatically going to pick it up and file
Okay.
charges. So maybe that's the case. I don't know for a fact, but that's just what I've been thinking. So being that it may have been something similar to that, that's the reason why I think they're moving forward with it. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think they should like are y'all wondering why this is still taking place, why there is a trial? Do y'all feel like there should have been a trial? Or just, are y'all even still paying attention to the whole Tory Lanez trial case situation?
I mean, seriously, I'm thinking this like Harlem Nights right about now. She should be fixing him a glass of orange juice. I'm like, go on, boy, we good. Just, don't come over here no more or whatever. 'Cause it's a done deal. But I mean, I'm not the one that got shot. I guess if it was me, I would be like, if I'm going to press charges, then I would be good with that. But I think you're saying she didn't press charges. She's pretty much done with it. She's probably trying to heal from it and move forward, but they're bringing it up. It's like taking a scab off of a wound or something and taking you back somewhere where you've made your peace. You might not have agreed with it, but whatever happened, happened. Us ladies, when we move on, we move on. We be like, it is what it is, it was what it was, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Let's keep it pushing. I got money to get to. I don't feel like going to court.
Yeah. I can understand that. I do believe that, she has been going through a healing process. It seems like things have been going really well for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then today what she made Forbes history.
See?
Um
What the
yeah,
devil meant for evil, God turned that thing on around. It's all good. He all
yeah.
right.
So yeah, life's been good for her. So
Yeah.
well, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that was it. Like I said, I feel like it's all the night. He just shot it up. It ain't funny, but that's what when I'm thinking the whole thing, that's all I see. Come on,
Gotcha.
Moscato Peach.
Oh, okay. And hey,
Yeah.
Sherman from Houston. And well, we'll just go ahead on and cut to our commercial early then. And when we come back, we'll start our recaps of the news and the month. All right, welcome back, y'all, to Theories and Thoughts podcast. I'm your hostess, Fancy, and tonight, I have joining me Lady Tiffany Nicole, and we are in our second half of the segment. As you all know, for the wind down, we normally do have wine. I don't have wine today because I'm still working on my paper.
Me
I figured
neither.
like drinking just wasn't the thing to be trying to do tonight, but I do have my water here with me. I don't know what y'all might be sipping on. And also, we're gonna go ahead on and get into our recap. So we're first gonna go through just I'll recap our guests that we've had this month, and then we'll recap the news after we finish up with that. So our first guest that we had this month was Miss Nadia Francois. This is
Hey,
actually
Nadia. Hey, guys. The boo again.
yeah, this is Nadia's actually her third time coming on the podcast, but she always has some different projects in the work. And
Mm-hmm.
this time we were talking about the fourth quarter push for those who are business owners, like we are in the fourth quarter, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's kind of gearing up for the new year and just closing out the year and things like that. And so Nadia is for her part of her fourth quarter push is hosting a hair growth challenge.
Mm.
Um It's the I want to say it's the Eris hair growth challenge. I don't want to say that.
I think it's Harris, and I might be saying it wrong.
Okay, yeah,
I
because
don't
I
think it
don't.
is Harris.
Okay, Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's HEIRESS. Because I read the word, but I don't really ever say it out loud. So,
Wow, this one of them.
but you guys can check her out, Nadia Francois. And she also shared some tips for choosing and taking care of protective styles. Of course, the challenge itself is about hair growth, but we ended up kind of getting sidetracked talking about protective styles, just as we were talking about just the purpose of the challenge, as she said, is to make certain that once we take everything off, as she put it, that we still look good, even after that. So you want your hair to be healthy. You want to be taking care of it, even in the meantime, even if you're wearing wigs or weaves or whatever the case may be. So we discussed that with her. And she also shared about her upcoming book project, Powerful Affirmations for Fempreneurs, that she's working
Yes.
on right now. And so, did you see this episode? I know you probably.
I didn't see that particular episode because I dip in often, but I do know Nadia, and I mean she's always got something going on with What's Your Superpower television and stuff like that. Awesome chick. She'll actually be here this weekend for the Boston Bossettes award. She's nominated or won, I think. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to connect with her while she's here this weekend. But yeah, I know Nadia from being in the mix with Kern Cracker Sherry and Success Women's Conference and doing, media. We're both in the same genre of media. So
Oh,
we're familiar with her and she does do well. I've been checking her out. I was like, if I live in that area, she would probably be doing my hair. But I'm in the ATL, so sis, do a pop-up shop and I got you. But no, I'm very familiar with Nadia and she be rocking it. She's doing the thing. I'm so proud of her and glad to know her as well. She goes hard in the paint.
yeah. And I was just asking because I know that you do be in and out, so I didn't know if you wanted, I'm rambling, but I'm like, if you want to, if any of
No,
these you
you good.
saw,
Go with
just
the
feel free.
flow. Yeah, very familiar with her. And yes, her Harris. I'm familiar with that. I didn't get a chance to get into the products. I'm still wigging it out till another couple of weeks for Christmas. But no, I'm very familiar with that. And her power affirmations. Her Clubhouse that she does on Clubhouse in the mornings. When I used to be on Clubhouse is jumping as well. So I know that book is going to be very powerful and beneficial to those of us in business that need a quick pick me up in the mornings or throughout the day.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a copy of the first volume of it, so that
Hmm.
was yeah, it was nice. So yeah, that was the first episode of the month with Nadia, and then our second guest of the month was Erin Freeman or Ed Free. I know her as Ed because that's what I saw in the bio, but Anya is familiar with her as Erin, so I don't know which name she want to go by because Anya was calling her Erin throughout the show.
Okay.
But she is the hostess of Kale Salad podcast. And so she came on and we were talking about why women should own their pleasure. And
Hmm.
basically, the podcast is for the sexually liberated, healed, and wounded women. And we were, her thing is all about owning your sexuality and sensuality. So one of the things that Aaron was, really honing in on is pleasure is your birthright. And I think that that's so important because I think a lot of people, especially us as women, we don't, you know, I'm not going to say we think struggle is something that we're supposed to have, but we're oftentimes more focused on that than we are thinking about our pleasures. So I really like the fact that, this is what she's all about. And then she also talked about, let me see. She wants people to be more comfortable talking about sex, erasing the stigma of from pleasure. And one other point that she made that I thought was interesting is that she said men get praised for doing stuff that's sexy, and then it was like some other stuff in between that, but she was just saying, and we don't get that, like as women, oftentimes when we do dress sexy even for ourselves, people be turning their head or looking at us crazy, or thinking, oh, you're doing this for attention, but a lot of the times it's for us. But it's like there's so many other people that are judging us, or what is it they say? It's like monitoring our bodies. It's a phrase. I can't think of it right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Not I can't think of it, but I do know being in the Bible Belt, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, the way they talked about sex or the way we viewed sex for women is just taboo. Like I said, it's you fast, words like Jezebel, they made sex seem so bad. And I just remember being a teenage mom being pregnant. I wasn't so worried about saying I was pregnant as opposed to the fact that I had had sex to get pregnant. And I was like, Lord, they gonna kill me because I done had sex. Not because I'm pregnant, baby gonna be all right. I was terrified to say that I had had sex, and that does affect us as women because I'm with her. It should be enjoyable, and I think there's a way to um, be sexually liberated, but still use wisdom and tact, you
Yeah.
know. And so it wasn't until, us about being sexy and voluptuous and, all of that. And we was like, oh, shoot, you gotta cover up. You just can't be Lord Jesus could have messed around. It took me a while to understand that I was sexy. When someone told me I was sexy, I was like, for real? I just got on. But sexy, is a perception. It's like beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Sexiness and all of that, is perception as well. And so I like the fact that she says we should own our pleasure. But at the end of the day, having sex should be enjoyous with the right party and person because I like how she said sexually whole and sexually wounded. There has been some pleasure, though it was pleasurable, it wasn't the right time and we have been abused. So a lot of things that happen with women when we get that freedom and go into it and like, okay, well, this is the one, and we let our hair loose and then come to find out they're not. It takes us to a place and we end up falling back up, being scared, and keeping homegirl locked up, throwing away the key and all of that. When we just have to use wisdom and own our pleasure, but use wisdom with understanding what we have and knowing our value before we share homegirl with the next person. So that's been the season that I've been in. I've been celibate. And people, I don't understand the difference between celibate and abstinent. I don't know. I just know I ain't had none. Period. Whatever y'all want to say. I ain't got time for all that. Sis ain't had none in about 4.5 years, but I have been pleasured. There's different levels of intimacy. There's ways, and I enjoy myself. It's not until like snuggle season right about now. Every now and then I'd be like, oh Lord, it's been a minute. And there's certain things I don't watch on TV because it stimulates, and I'm like, no, not yet. But it's my personal choice to not have pleasure in a sexual way because of me healing from being sexually wounded. So I think that I'm sure that was a good episode, but as far as her and what she does and what she stands for, I totally get it, especially being raised where we was like sex was crazy, and I couldn't understand why sex was crazy with us for women and the women in my family. But dad and uncle and big mama, I mean granddaddy got about 15 different children around the land, but it's wrong for us. It's just too much. Too much. What do they call it? Double standard when it
Yeah.
comes to sexuality for women and men. It was just crazy. They going all over the place, but we can't. I didn't understand that. So she's right.
Yeah, she's definitely right. And I agree with all of that, as well as when you said you didn't know the difference between the two, I guess celibacy and abstinence. I think is the reasoning behind it, if I'm not mistaken. I had looked it up one time because I
Oh,
always be yeah, but I always have to go look and see which reason is goes with what whichever one it is. So,
girl,
but
sis ain't had none. That's it. That's all. I'm sure they go with both of them. But I'm
yeah,
good. I'm cool. Listen, life is great. But whenever I'm released for the one that will get it, he gonna get it. Go
And
ahead.
one thing that Aaron also said was that, oftentimes women try to hold other people accountable, like, if you have sex and you don't enjoy it, then you're looking at your partner crazy. But as she was pointing it out, she was like that's one way of owning your pleasure. Like, you take control of that, you take accountability for not being pleased or not speaking up and saying whatever it is that you like. So Aaron made some really great points. And if you all are interested in listening to that podcast, you can go back and listen on Spotify, or if you're just scrolling on the Facebook page, it is down there like 2 weeks ago or something.
What's the name of the podcast again? Because I might tap in.
Uh, uh, why women should own their pleasure. That's the name of that one. Yeah, and so
I would love, and I probably have her on the show because there's hate to go that way, but there's really spiritual implications into sex, and that's what I learned during my journey of being celibate slash abstinent slash not getting none. That I had to learn a healthy way of looking at sex and understanding it, why I did enjoy it, but what it meant to me and why I have no longer done it in a while. And it's a combination of two things. I hadn't dated long enough to, and three, I've actually been okay because there's some stuff going on out there. You can mix COVID in with AIDS and herpes, and there's just too much going on. Don't breathe on me. No, let me make sure.
yeah, it is. I think the dating scene, I mean, it's just really hard right now.
Yeah, I heard it got pink in
To
it.
maneuver through, yeah. When they say that, I be thinking it got something else in it, but I'm just like, it's horrible. But for me, I think like the fact, and I've talked openly about my mental health and just the medication that I take. Like, my mind just really don't even go there anymore. Like, I just be focused on other stuff. I got too much other stuff to be worried
There's
about,
too
and
much going on.
really being in school, like even just trying to, it's hard for me to even remember to text somebody back, so. And I keep my phone on do not disturb. So
Okay,
I'm
now I just got mine on there. Now I was like, "Oh, this what Fancy be talking about." Oh, okay, that's why I responded to you immediately. Like, I was like, "Oh, she's pretty good." Okay,
yeah,
shoot.
it helps though. It helps you be able to, pay attention. And I just feel like but I had actually talked to someone, like I went to this event and Ashley from Sex with Ashley was there. And I asked her just about, like, as a woman, just not interested in me anymore. And she it actually ended up being one of my pod mates that was just like, take some time to yourself, so she was
Mhm.
like, take like 3 to 6 months to yourself. And so that's kind of what I've been working on.
Okay.
It's been, it was going better. It's now been going just okay. But all the same, I will just say that Erin, oh, also y'all, Erin has a pantyhose line. So since
Oh,
she is all about women feeling sexy and just, owning who they are. She has a pantyhose line. Y'all can also check that out too. So again, you all can check out that episode, Why Women Should Own Their Pleasure, and it is on Spotify. And then our third guest this month was Miss Christy Dean. Christy Dean
yes.
is a professional play watcher. I love that. Cause I kept saying she was a playwright, and then she definitely corrected me and told me that that she wasn't, but she was a really cool guest. She talked about her play, which Anya is actually taking part in. The reason why she's out this week. So
Uh-huh.
the play is going to be this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 4th in in the DFW area. You all can go back
Yes.
to the specific details, but the name of the play is "How Many Frogs Do I Have to F to, I think, to Get to a Prince?" So
Sound
we
like that, but the title alone was like, "Oh, sis, we gotta go. Y'all coming to Atlanta? I want to see
Yeah,
this."
I don't. You know what? We did ask her if the play traveled, but she didn't mention it. So I'm thinking it's only that one day. That's what it sounds like. I wonder how many times they're gonna run in that day though. But Christy shared that a lot of the inspiration behind her plays is her own dating life or things that she's witnessed in life, or I think she reaches out to others like for their stories, and then she has someone writes the plays for her. And so far they've been going really well. She is also an actress. I'm trying to remember some stuff that she's played in.
I know she said she was an actress and she was had been typecast, so she made sure she got out of the box and started doing other picking up different roles to
Hmm.
expand her acting resume, if you will. But she did say that her plays were, don't think that when you come to her plays it's gonna be Tyler Perry ish. None of that's going on. It ain't gonna be no big mama singing in the kitchen washing greens. That's not the type of plays she had. She said they were X-rated, and I remember you asking, "How does a play be X-rated?" And she was like, "The topics that they have in this particular play, it's man providing fellatio to another man. So if you feel it's okay for a child to be, no." So I love the fact that she dealt with real issues, and she's bringing adult content to the stage play. I would have loved to have seen how that can, because it really piqued my interest, not for that to watch that, but to see what that looks like on a stage play live. That's some that's some great acting, number one. Number two, if the men aren't bisexual in nature and able to act that out, those type of things are amazing to me. That's just downright good acting, like old boy on
Yeah. Little Murder.
Lil Murder. I'm like, bro, you acted your tail. That's, bro, you need a whole Oscar or got every last one of them for being able to do that. But acting is a craft, and I was just amazed, but I enjoyed her conversation. I enjoyed the things that she was saying because she was interesting. She was funny, but she was real, and so I
Yeah.
loved her conversation. And I wish I was home in Dallas. So I text some people that live in Dallas to help get the word out, to get some help her get some tickets sold. But yeah, definitely a good conversation, and it's good to know that when, because every time I think of a play, I think about Tyler Perry and stuff. Where somebody gonna get delivered, set free, husband done cheated and stuff like that, but gonna come back, the marriage gonna be together, and it's gonna be some good singing. She was like, no, that's not what that is. So I would love, I would love to witness one of her plays. But on the flip side, about her being a play watcher to critique and give other people good news and bad news, constructive criticism to make them better. I'm sure she's not liked, so to speak, but that is an interesting position to have when it goes to players. Just simply go and be a playwright critiquer. That's got to be interesting.
Yeah. And well, yeah, because I know they have I don't know if she actually writes anything, but I was about to say I know that they have, play critics. So I guess that's kind of like
Mhm.
about the same thing as what she it has kind of, found as her own lane as well. So
Mhm.
I was trying to think there's anything else I need to tell y'all about Christy. Uh no, other than go check out the play because Anya's in it. Um, I know that her character's name, but I'm not gonna share it because I know this Christy
Okay.
didn't share it. So, but you all can definitely go check that out and support her. And so she's doing they're practicing all this week or something. So I think they're practicing every day. So just imagine. Remember they said Christy Dean actually cooked for every practice or something. So that means she's
Oh, they eating good, acting good, cutting up. Oh yes, I love it.
yeah, so y'all, those were all the guests that we had throughout this month of November. And now to move on to our November news, just the different news that we found. And actually, since Lady Tiffany Nicole had some more uplifting news stories,
Yes, because
I'm
what
gonna
fantasy was bringing to the play, baby, we was about to be depressed. We was gonna need prayer and all of that. We was gonna be sad.
let so I'll let you you can go and I'll hey Coletta, and I'll share my other little stories after yours. So what all you got?
Yes, well, first of all, y'all know it's Thanksgiving and what Thanksgiving means to the Black HBCU culture. Baton Rouge, it was led in Southern Louisiana for New Orleans, in New Orleans, for the Battle of Louisiana. We call it the Battle of the Boot. It was Bayou Classic, and that was Grambling versus Southern. The first, it's not the first one, but this is the first one where we was like outside. Because last year's 2020, 2021, it wasn't as high because people were still like not sure if they was gonna go. But I was supposed to be there with my family because my family is actually like half Louisiana, half Grambling, half Southern. I'm Louisiana born and raised. But some of my family went to Southern, some of my family went to Grambling. It was one or two. We got a sprinkle or two in Dillard or whatever. They extra. But for the main part, it is Grambling and Southern, and it looked like it was a blast this weekend. Everybody had fun. Um, the number thing was the halftime show, Battle of the Bands, as usual. Grambling, I'm partial to Grambling. If I was to go to college, I would have went to Grambling actually, but I didn't make it because I told y'all earlier I'm a teenage mom. But you know, hey, it is what it is. So I always rock Grambling gear as if. But Grambling band is what won. But Southern won the football game. But just from the highlights of everybody in my circle of influence, all of my homies and will be college friends, they were all out there, and it looked like it was a blast. What you have to say about what did you, if you were did you go to HBCU, or if you would have
Oh
went, do
man,
you
I
have
go to
a
Southern now.
preference? Huh?
I go to Southern now.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been at Southern. Well, that's but yeah. So I mean, this is my fifth year out there or something. Y'all know I had left and then I came back or whatever this summer. But yeah, so Southern is my school. But and my
oh,
daughter was like, "You should be out there," but I was like, "It's raining. I'm
okay.
older. I'm not
Yes,
about to
it
be out here in
rained,
the
and it was
rain."
like this. It was raining, raining. I was like, I better they come out there trying to be cute and fast, and it's raining.
Yeah,
But
that's
they
just and
make the best of it every time.
yeah, I've gone 1 year to the classic and I actually end up having something like a panic attack or an anxiety attack, one or the other, like literally, because it was so many people and yeah, we weren't exactly clear minded now that I think about it, but it was just
Oh, okay.
it ended up being like this was some years ago, but but it was a fun experience, but it was so many people. Like we literally held hands to keep up with each other as we were walking through the crowds, you know? So
I've been a couple of times, and to me, I think it's more people at the Bayou Classic than it is at Mardi Gras. But it's kind of like it's Essence Festival, Bayou Classic, Mardi Gras. That's when New Orleans is just like,
yeah, you can't breathe. You really and I'm one of them excuse me people all the time. So it was so hard for me. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
'cause
And
that's a whole African American family reunion.
that yeah.
Yes, and then that was it was funny because I just asked during that episode when we were talking to Christy. I think that's when we talked about like Chris Brown and us having our own to be able to honor, you know, our own without having people like Chris Brown kicked off and robbing us of life changing performances. And I was like, when was the last Soul Train? Like, I literally haven't seen the Soul Train Awards, and I can't tell you how long. And it came on Sunday night. Was it Sunday or Saturday?
I don't
I think it was Sunday night. It
I
was
just saw
Sunday.
that it was like coming, and I was so upset because I was like, now this would come on right when I said like, because I was wondering when it was gonna come on too. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it this year. But when I saw the advertisements for it, I never looked at the date. So I was thinking like this is just gonna be like the, like this is the actual recording, but then the show itself will be aired at a later date. I didn't realize it was gonna be aired this
Yeah,
weekend.
it was aired like over the weekend, and the highlights I saw, it was good too. I'm low key mad I didn't get no media notice about it because we should have been up in there. That was good. Yeah, it was. They represented like what I'm used to for us with good shows and stuff like that. So Shantae Moore came out, did her little mix. She jammed. Now that love's taking off. Like, yes, so Shantae Moore, honey. And then Escape was honored with an award. And they came out and did their thing. They did the jams, they did the cuts. Everybody did their part. For me, I like Escape. But there's one person that I'm just not too fond of. They call her the David Ruffin of the group, and that's Latasha. It's not that she don't have a good voice. She just be doing extra. She be doing the most when she sing. And it's like, I'm gonna send you the clip so you can watch it and you're gonna probably gonna laugh. Cause she just be like, oh, sis, just hold the note. Like, why are you singing over Candy? Ain't that Candy part? Like, we know you got the run action, but chill. So Tiny held her own. No, I don't think people understand that Tiny can sing.
Okay.
Tiny actually has a voice, and she is the one that sings "Understanding."
Oh, she
So
is.
she's the main voice on "Understanding." You don't really know me. You just want to. But yeah, she came through. It's her and the other one, not Candy, not Latasha, but Latasha's
Natasha's
sister, I
sister.
think. So Tiny held her on with her voice. They did Tonight, which is the acapella cut that they did from back in the day. Do you know Escape songs?
Okay, ma'am. I do know some of them. I know the one that was more mainstream. I don't know tonight, but I really would have loved to have seen that performance. I'm gonna have to try to see if I can find it, but I can't watch it until I
I'm
get
gonna send
off
it to
my
you. And I didn't think about it today to send it to you so we could talk about it. But Candy posted it, the whole thing. It was good. The only critique I have is you got to look at the comments. Had me cracking up. I'm one that go in the comments because I
mic.
love a good chuckle. And baby, my people are colorful. We cuts up in comments, right? Baby, they was tearing Tasha up, but it was overall it was good performance. They hit the cuts. Jermaine Dupri came out and did his thing, but they were good for the age that they are. They represented. They wasn't too out there. The husbands and the baby Ti was loving them. Baby Ti was supporting his wife. Like God was like, you better represent Ti. You better be a supportive husband in the audience. Okay, King Daddy. So it it was good. It was really a good night of music. It was a good night for us. And that's what I liked about it. Tank came out, did his thing with his slow jam, had a pole dancer in the background. My only critique about the show is it's for us, it's by us, and I don't like the fact that they didn't show the gospel part of it. I'm learning from going to award shows now and thankful. And it's just amazing to me that I'm able that I do that now. But I remember late 90s, early 2000s, like, man, I wish I could go to award shows. How you get in there? Blah, blah, blah. So to be able to sit and go and to be in the audience and see what happens behind the scenes, the hiccups and stuff like that, and how they have to cut 2.5, 3 hours into something to fit on the regular television slot, those are tough decisions to make.
Yeah.
I don't think that when it comes to stuff like the BET Awards or Soul Train Awards, BET Awards, they don't so much. I think they go ahead and show the gospel part, but I believe the Soul Train Awards definitely should have showed the gospel segment and had, because that's who we are. That's if it's our culture, we gonna need a shout or two. We gonna need, you know,
Yeah.
give us one good one so we can and then keep it moving. So they didn't do that. So there's some parts that we missed. There's a cipher. Tasha Cobb did a cipher on the Soul Train Awards. So all of that was good. Overall, it was a good show. My only critique of it is stop cutting out the gospel part. Give us a good Kirk Franklin cut. It's a lot of R&B ish type gospel stuff in there. Y'all could have hit that new from Ty Tribbett or something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of staying in the mix, but gave us a God in there. And I know one person on Facebook was just like, every person that got up, thank God for their award, lifetime awards. Everybody thank God. So why wouldn't you have aired the segment set aside for him?
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good for us. I'm thinking about reactivating my BET Plus for about 2 weeks, just so I can watch it again in its entirety. Get that out of my system. Um, Wesley Christmas came on Thursday for Thanksgiving on BET, and it's a good movie, y'all. It really is good. So if you don't have BET Plus, you should be able, if you got BET Plus, you should be able to watch it. But y'all know how BET do. It's gonna circle on back around again. So if you still got cable, I was at a house that had cable. I was amazed. Y'all got cable? Jesus, I ain't seen this stuff. So,
Yeah, I know
somebody got cable. So if you got cable, keep an eye on BET for OSC Christmas. It was very well written. It was really good. But the programming for Thanksgiving was really good.
And also, guys, if you visit the Swagger site, but not right now because we're having a site issue, but there is a recap of the premiere which Lady Tiffany Nicole attended, so you all can see some of the footage from like her meeting the different cast members and so on.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, what else happened? So much happened in November though.
Well, some other things. Look, let me look
Oh,
at my little
girl.
list for the cheery things.
Irene Cara. Y'all know Irene? You know Irene Cara?
I've never saw that movie. I'm not gonna lie. But I do know her now. Unfortunately, I hate to just know of her.
I got you. But yeah, that threw me for a loop. And she was 63. Like, and it's what's irritating to me a little bit. We got to do better for our culture. But nobody said anything about Irene Cara. But I guess we expect for people like that from the early 80s, 70s. Because she's original. We know Sparkle with Jordan Sparks and Whitney Houston, but that was a remake of the original Sparkle, and Irene Cara is Sparkle in the original movie Sparkle from the late 60s, early 70s, I think is when it was. It's the 70s. But I do know Fame because I watched Fame with Debbie Allen and all of them. I even remember the TV show. But I remember the song too. And so when they was pulling that around, I'm not gonna say I thought she was dead. I just hadn't heard nothing from her, and she was kind of like a forgotten jewel, shall I say, in our culture for what she's done because she hadn't done anything really since that. So
I
she's
think
been
there's
like
a
behind the scenes.
I think there's a lot of women though, just kind of from that era that,
Mhm.
I would love to be able to interview a lot of them, because I feel like they have some wisdom, but it's a matter of, I guess, not being at the in the forefront of someone's mind, because you're not really just thinking about it. But if you're watching something, then it might be, oh, you know what, that might make a cool interview. But otherwise, I don't, But I said I need to start making a list of like all the people I like to interview and just kind of go from there because people be passing away. I'd be like, dang, I just learned to them, or just I look
Oh,
at Bell Hooks. I have been hearing her name for years. Then I finally started reading her book, but it was after she had passed. Now I was like, she was
mhm.
around all this time, but I didn't realize it until then. So
Yeah, we got to learn to give people their flowers while they're still here. One thing our community does, and I didn't realize how bad we are with that, is we typecast people. Whatever they did that we remember them for, they are stuck in that mode our entire. We just don't know them from something else. They can even do something else and add more. Like Jasmine guy, she didn't come to the red carpet thing, and everybody was looking for quote unquote Whitley. Jasmine got to been on Harlem Nights and everything else, but all we know her as is Dwayne, Wayne, and Whitley.
yeah.
And then the guy that played Professor Ogilvy, he's a main character in the West League too. And we kept calling him Professor. And he was just like, "That's not my name." And we was like, "Hey, Professor Ogilvy." He was like, "My name is blah blah blah." We was like, "Okay, Professor." It was
His
funny,
name, his name is a
but
pretty name.
we've got to separate them from their iconic moments and stuff that they've done, and realize them as real people, that they have real emotions, real, and that they're real actors that can do something else. But on the cool, when I was watching the Wesley Christmas, he was acting like Professor Ogilvy on there too, because, well, I ain't gonna say all that right now, but I'm just saying. So I was like, Professor.
Oh, I pictured you there saying that to him though, because I probably would have said the same thing. Probably when
What
I
did
went
you
to
say you
say,
there? He was like, oh, don't do that.
you like, that's your name. But I get what you're
Okay,
saying.
Professor.
Yeah.
Oh, but we do. I mean, it didn't dawn on me because they are people and they move on from there. Good times, man. James Avery gonna forever be James Evans from Good Times. And thank God he's still alive because he got a whole Instagram page. He's blowing it up on Instagram with his old self, but he's still alive. But we just know him as JJ Day. So that's something that we as African American culture, that's all we know people from. And then now she's passed away, and we're like, oh my God, Fame. Fame was in the early 80s. It is 2022. There's got to be something more about that woman that we could talk about other than Fame.
Now I will say in my family, because we're well, quite the movie watchers, I guess you say, because my mom had this really big movie collection. She had hundreds of like VHS tapes back in the day. We used to be recording everything, right? So we have this tradition kind of like when we see people in another movie, we are always, oh, that's so and so from, so and so, so and so. So it's kind of like we, I guess, don't necessarily see people in that same sense because we're
Mhm.
often looking for them to be in different roles and talking about, how it was different from this other role that they played before, this character, whatever. But I do understand what you mean because I know that they said, and look, I want to call him Carlton because I don't know his real name.
Listen, Carson, that's it. And then he can't come out of that. And he was in Whoops or something, but Carlton.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, another thing that happened just recently, guys, was Portia Williams got married to Simon. I don't know why I have a sister-in-law named Simone, so my bad. But Simon, I don't know his last name. Do you know how to pronounce it? Some with a
First
G.
of all, I didn't know he was of African descent because then they have two weddings.
Yeah. But they've always, talked about that. Like, I've seen stuff that kind of indicated that before.
So I'm not an Atlanta Housewives type person. I know of them, and I saw that, and I love how they looked. But I was like, is he royalty? Is that like something with their fashion where it's general
I thought
stuff
he
on
was
the show?
military. That's what I was thinking he
Okay.
might be. But I don't watch either. I do like Portia and her style, so I oftentimes, look at stuff on her page. But yeah. But I do know he is of African descent, and but I think his last name started with a G. If y'all know, but I bet y'all probably can't spell it in the comments. But if you can drop it there and let us know. But they had a really nice wedding. It seemed like everybody was there. But I've been seeing that some people
Yeah.
have been talking about Nene Leak's dress. Did you see her dress?
Oh, I gotta look that up. But Nene gon' Nene.
Well, a lot of people was
Nene
like
gon' Nene to
showing
the
too
Nene.
much
She can't
skin for
Nene no
somebody
more.
else's wedding. But I saw somebody, I don't know her name, but she was with Toya Johnson and and Mo, I can't think of Mo's last name, Mo from Miel or whatever, Miel Organics. Um, and she had on like a corset sort of thing, but it was like sheer, and then the sides like were kind of out. So, but then her skirt was like really long. It was cute, but my point is, everybody seemed half naked to me. Pretty much.
Well, I'm here in Atlanta, so that's that crowd, that tax bracket of people and ladies here in the ATL. That's what they do. But you know me, I'm still more Bible belt. I don't care. There's certain things I just don't think you need to wear in a church. And her wedding was in like a real church, like good old type church. Why would you wear that? Like
And see,
kind
I
of Ric
didn't
Flair
realize
church.
that. Okay.
Why would you wear that? But I do know that Kevin Lemons um, and Higher Calling is a popular community choir here in Atlanta, Georgia, and they provided like the background vocals and music for the wedding. So I thought that was cool because I know some of them. I was like, oh, I need to get in that choir, so I stuff like that. But nah, I'm playing. But not for real. But I mean, when they do another audition, I'm gonna try out.
Why
But they did the background for it and stuff. So it was at an actual church, and I just can't imagine, and it's just me. I know we own our sexuality and our pleasure and stuff like that, but there's just some things you don't do. Don't wait. I know it was a wedding. If it was outside or at an event location, okay. But people just don't respect the church no more. Why you in the church naked now? Mm-mm. That's too much.
not? Yeah, well, you got to see the dress too. But it was, if you, to me, when I first saw it, I didn't really see what the problem was. But then I looked more closely. I was like, oh, okay. So it was like very see through. And thank you, Coletta. I see you said, I don't know how you say that. But it's look, Portia's husband name
Gubardia, Gobardia.
It's Guobadia for our audio listeners because I don't know how to say that.
Gubadia, Gobadia, Jubadia,
I don't know. I just think Portia
something
done got
deal,
in the money. That's what I be looking at. I'm like,
baby.
she did. You
Hey,
did well, sis. But I'm not saying that it's not love or anything. I'm just saying, like, I mean, just it looks like she had a ball for her what do you call it, the bachelorette party and everything,
hmm.
and then I'm just like, yeah, they look real comfortable. That's nice. I would love to be like that. So yeah. But y'all, that is all of our news for this month. We as
One
well.
more thing, sis, before we go, because I want to give him honor where honor's due. Take off. Funeral was this month.
I had that on my list, ma'am, but you stopped me.
I didn't see that on the list. Well, you know, you were talking about something. You didn't get to that.
No,
You should get
but
to the top.
you stopped me after the other stuff, so I didn't get this. But I did have that on my list, and
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let you do that one. And I got one more too. I need to add.
Okay, yeah, but his funeral was here in Atlanta. It was at the State Farm Arena. They actually had tickets. They had Ticketmaster tickets. They were free. And so that fans and industry people alike could attend. Those tickets were sold out in a matter of hours. The tickets were live at 2 o'clock. There were no more tickets by 6 p.m. So it was a quote unquote sold out. There were no charges for the tickets. The maximum a person could get was two. So, and if you've ever been to, I was just at the State Farm Arena for the Kingdom Tour. It's huge. So
No.
there was a lot of people there. There was people that spoke like Drake and people in the industry that was there to pay their respects. You were not able, there is no footage of the funeral simply because they had a strict no cell phone policy, no video policy, and things of that nature. So I think in light of what happened to take off and how everything happened and the fact that this was so sudden and unexpected to the family, to Quavo and the rest of those that loved him and knew him for real, for real. Um, and I'm saying it that way because when you go on his Instagram and stuff, people be on there like they knew him since yes, like, oh, we're so dramatic. And not that he should, be mourned, but baby, we do the most when folks get up out of here in the pop culture. But his funeral was held and respected, very well respected here in the city. They blocked downtown off. We really couldn't, because I tried to like slide through, see if I can get some so I can help with Swagger Man. Baby, it was blocked off. Like, where you going? Mm-mm. Ain't nothing over here open today. We'll see y'all tomorrow. So Atlanta shut it down, gave the respect, gave him the honor that he was due. But it was in November. It was this month in November as well.
Well, also today, we like to send a happy heavenly birthday to Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, because today is his birthday. His
Oh,
birthday. I don't
I
know how
was
you.
trying to know that. I went to see the movie. Well, I couldn't. I'm not right now because I'm doing this. But I actually went to see the movie yesterday. I saw it on 3D.
Oh, you did.
And I don't want to give it away. I mean, the way everybody was talking about the movie, I thought I was going to have a Baptist fit in there, like I was going to a whole funeral for him. The way people was talking about, like, oh my God, I cried. So I was looking, I had braced myself. I was like, all right, I'm about to pass out. Like the angel, Lord, take me now, Lord. But they did honor him. But from the previews, from the previews I saw, and then from what people had commented about, I thought I would get more, and maybe they hide my expectation of it since I'm just now seeing it after all this time. It was good, and I don't give it away. I was expecting a little bit more to honor him, but what they did was cool. I guess they couldn't do too much, but it had its moments.
Well, I'm gonna let you know whenever I see it. I haven't saw it yet. My daughter actually just started watching the first part. I've saw the first part now, but today she told me that she started watching the first part, and she was like, "It's beautiful," And I was like, "Now that is not even something she says." So I know it must have really got to her. But
Oh yeah, it was cool how they did it at the beginning a little bit,
well, I
and
mean the
what they
first
did.
one, the
Oh, the
first,
first
yeah,
Black Panther.
yeah. So, but
Okay.
yeah, all right. So you
Oh,
guys,
let's plan with. Okay. Guess we need to make a post. Good Lord, I'm behind on stuff.
And well, look, if you all would like to learn more or follow Lady Tiffany Nicole, you guys can follow her at, well, actually, you all can check out powerinfluenceradio.com or thevirtuoushour.com, as well as she is on Instagram as Lady Tiffany Nicole CEO. And then the Instagram is Power Influence Radio for the radio station. Um, look, if y'all,
Yes, and I would love to have y'all on the show. Exciting news release. Oh my God, starting this week. Sunday, I not only have the radio show on the Virtuous Hour on Saturday mornings on Power Foods Radio, but starting Sunday evenings, I'll be on Hustle Mama Radio as well. So I would love to have anyone that's watching or learning about me. Hey, y'all, welcome to the club. But I would love to have you on my radio show and some more other exciting things that are coming into light before 2023 comes through. So stay connected. Follow me, I follow back.
all right, and guys, you all can follow me. Everything Swagger Magazine is Swagger Magazine, and then our Instagram is Swagger Magazine, of course, but our website is swaggeronline.com. We are experiencing some technical issues right now, so the site is under maintenance. Everything pertaining to me and my personal brand is Fancy Swagger, and my link tree is Fancy Thoughts. I don't know why we always forget what all is listed here. But you guys can catch us next week. Anya will be back and we'll have our I don't know who our first guest of the month is, but we'll definitely have a guest. So yeah. Peace and blessings and y'all have a good night.
Yes, thanks for having me. Thank you, Arnaya, for allowing me to sit in for you. I enjoyed myself, Fancy Face. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Bye y'all. Peace and blessings.